tried to live away from home. But as Betsy heard girls' laughter from behind a closed door, her heart swelled with pure joy. She was finally where she was meant to be.
"You will share a parlour suite with Lady Octavia Taymor and Miss Clementine Clark," the maid assigned to escort her said. "Each of you has your own chamber, of course, and your maid will attend you morning and evening. You may become acquainted with Lady Octavia and Miss Clark over tea."
Betsy's heart was beating so quickly that she felt slightly dizzy. Clementine was such a beautiful name. And hadn't Octavius been a general? Octavia was named after a warrior, just as she was. The parlour looked like a smaller version of parlours at Lindow Castle, tastefully furnished with a silk rug and rosy velvet curtains. A table before the fireplace was set with a silver tea service. Betsy's eyes flew to the two girls who rose and came to meet them. Clementine had yellow ringlets and a pursed mouth like a rosebud. Octavia had low dark eyebrows and a thin face.
"Your name is so pretty,"
Betsy told Clementine after the maid left.
"I wish I could say the same for yours,"
Clementine said, sitting down with a little smile as if she were merely jesting. Betsy blinked.
"Boadicea is certainly unusual," she said hastily. "I prefer Betsy."
Clementine's nose wrinkled.
"We have a second housemaid who used to be called Betsy. My mother changed her name to Perkins."
Betsy couldn't think what to say.
"I see,"
she managed, her voice coming out flat and strange.
"Please, won't you sit down, Lady Betsy?"
Octavia asked, gesturing toward a chair. Betsy sat.
"Have you been at the seminary for some time, Lady Octavia?" she asked. "Clementine and I have been the only parlour boarders since—"
Octavia began.
"I have every expectation that my mother will fetch me away within the week,"
Clementine said, interrupting.
"I see,"
Betsy repeated, fighting to make her voice cordial. It was ridiculous to feel shaky and a little frightened. This wasn't the way she had imagined her first encounter with possible friends. But Clementine was only one person, and there was a whole school of girls to meet.
"Do you?"
Clementine demanded.
"Are you good at maths?"
Octavia put in, her voice rather desperate.
"No, I am not,"
Betsy said.
"I am sorry to hear that you are departing, Miss Clark. Is the parlour too small for 3 of us?"
Clementine snorted.
"The meals are frightfully good here,"
Octavia said, her voice rising.
"My mother will travel from the country to fetch me as soon as she learns of your arrival,"
Clementine said, ignoring Octavia.
"I sent her a message yesterday."
Betsy had the horrible sense that she'd somehow strayed into a nightmare. She took a deep breath.
"Why are you so impolite, Miss Clark?"
Clementine pursed her lips tighter than nature had made them, and then opened them just wide enough to speak.
"No one can blame a child for her mother's lascivious nature. But it would have been more agreeable if His Grace had thought how unpleasant it was for young ladies of quality to share a chamber with someone who,
Betsy prompted,
is bound to have inherited her mother's sinful inclinations,"
Clementine said, her eyes shining like greased blueberries. Betsy stared back in horror. Of course Clementine knew that the Duke's second Duchess, her mother, had run away with a Prussian count when Betsy was a baby. But no one had ever spoken of her mother so demeaningly, nor implied that she, Betsy, would inherit a penchant for debauchery.
"Clementine,"
Octavia protested, adding,
"you are being frightfully ill-bred."
Clementine turned toward her.
"I'm merely repeating what scientists have proved, Octavia. Strong attributes are always inherited, just as when racehorses are bred for speed. You could call it destiny, but it's really science." "I don't believe it,"
Octavia said stoutly. But Betsy's brother North was fascinated by horse breeding and gave near-nightly disquisitions on which traits were making themselves known in the ducal stables. Betsy knew, better than most ladies, that traits were indeed inherited. A strange tingle coursed through her body, as if a wall had opened, revealing something frightful behind it, something she'd never imagined.